Last year's first-round pick, shortstop Lonnie Chisenhall, a guy that, from what I was told, the Indians probably wouldn't have had a chance to get him if he didn't have some troubles before he was drafted. But from everything I heard, everybody loved him once he was signed up and played for the Indians last year.
Yeah, and I think he got drafted into the right situation. Travis Fryman worked with him last year, and Fryman kind of went through the whole. He didn't have the problems that Chisenhall had, with the college thing he had, but he had the whole transition thing, going from shortstop to third, which they are officially going to move him to third base this year. Okay. I don't know if he's going to start off the year in Lake County or if he's going to start off in Kinston, but I know listening to Ross a couple times last year, he said that he's going to make the traditional, Lake County, Kinston. So he's going to probably be the starting third baseman in Lake County this year, that's going to be another very good team. And that's the other thing about the system now. Not only do they have AAA and AA guys, now they're set at each level. We're like in previous years, they had gaps.
Right.
And it was always like this gap where all these guys went to AAA, and then when they graduated, all these guys in single A, and it's just this
and
gap.
You had no AA guys.
Yeah.
Right? No, that makes sense. So, he's only 19, I want to say 20.
Yeah, he'll be 20, I think, this year when he plays. I think he'll turn 20 during the season, or he turns 20 now, something like that.
So it's perfect for him. All right, we got a couple emails, and I'll stop and I'll let the fans ask. First guy that comes up, hey guys, I was just wondering if you think Trevor Crowe might be the odd man out because of his histories of injuries and his surplus of young outfielders. He might eventually get traded. Also, do you think the Indians might give him a chance at the major league level this season? That's from Pat.
I think, actually, he's going to get the first chance. He's on the 40-man roster, which is key. Brantley, Laporta, they're not in the 40-man roster, and Crowe's kind of deserve that chance. And he's the perfect fourth outfielder. He switch hits. He can play all four. He can play all three positions. He's got speed. And he's got good contact ability. He's a clubhouse guy, which is always key. So I think if it wasn't for David DeLucci being in here, he'd be the fourth outfielder, and he'd probably be some kind of a platoon with Francisco out there. And it's not out of the realm of possibility that they still could release a guy like DeLucci, and just say,
you must have been listening to me earlier, because I said that. I said Dave DeLucci's coming back tonight, and it's good, but nothing against Dave DeLucci. But I just think the Indians are at a point in time, especially after I get done talking to you, Tony, because you make us feel so much better about what's going on down on the farm. But if you want a fluid situation, you want these kids to know at Buffalo that, hey, if I go out and do my job and I do it right, I can help the big club, earlier than waiting around for a guy because of his contract.
Yeah, and I think that's something we've seen that's changed with Shapiro the last couple of years. Where in years past, he would always kind of rely on those stopgap veterans and he'd plug them in, and didn't really get those young guys maybe a chance to fill in those roles. I think we're going to start seeing that now with guys like Trevor Crowe filling in a role, a guy like Chris Jimenez at some point this season maybe filling in that last utility spot. A guy like Valbuena maybe getting a chance this year. I mean, there's so many opportunities they have to get these guys a shot. So.
And what happens when you do that, and I know you know this, Tony, is that you don't have to go out and give anything away. When you can fix your ball club from within, it saves money. It helps you when you want to go out in free agency, and it gives you a better perspective of what truly you have around you. Because I'd much rather in the middle of May say, all right, Garco's gone down. Let's see Trevor Crowe for a week and a half. Let's see Michael Brantley or Laporta. I think that'll be the fun part of this season. I really do. Another email real quick, and this is a guy I was going to ask you about. This is from Chris. He goes, while you guys are still talking a little bit about the farm system, I'd love to hear about some of the Lake County guys, such as Kelvin De La Cruz. I can remember being at East Lake and hearing them say his name, and I can hear De La Cruz. He's a guy that a lot of people want to know about.
Yeah, he's a guy that is often called Carmona left. He throws left-handed. Looks exactly like him out there. And when Carmona was in Lake County in 2003, he looks exactly what Carmona was, except he throws left-handed. He's got that low to mid-90s fastball, and he's got great makeup. He's still working on the command thing, which is expected. He's young. He was 9, and that's the thing is he was 19 last year, and he was like 7 or 8 months younger than Hector Rondon was when he was there.
Wow.
And they actually moved up De La Cruz to Kinston last year in July, and he was still 19. He turned 20 when he moved up.
Wow.
So he'll be going to Kinston this year as probably the youngest player in the Carolina League, and dominant guy. And obviously his live projection, he's still low in the system, but that's a guy great guy too. I mean, he's bilingual,
Nice.
which is a
It's
plus.
big.
For him.
That helps these guys get up
Yes,
quicker when that
definitely.
happens.
And Carlos Santana, he tries. He's learning that whole.
They're trying to
English
teach him
thing.
because they want him as a catcher to
Yeah.
be able. I know that was one of the things they had him do in the off season.
Well, it was kind of funny when I saw him in Myrtle Beach. I went up to him. Hey, can I talk to you? He goes, oh, you want to do an interview? His
Right.
dialect, and I go, do you need an interpreter? He goes, no, I'll do it. I go, okay.
Well, that's big.
Yeah,
That really is.
He's a very confident guy.
Good. Well, I know Fausto Carmona, after his first start down in Goodyear this year, he had an interpreter, and he goes, "That's the last time we're doing it that way. From now on, I can do it myself." Mm-hmm. And people might not realize that, but just the small things of being able to communicate with your teammates in English, it helps tremendously to make a team. Because I've been in clubhouses where half the guys speak Spanish, half the guys speak English, and no one talks to each other. And you get clicks, throughout the clubhouse. All right, before I let you go, Tone, this is the best way to do this. Rather than me throw out names or everyone else throw out names, we've kind of gone through the top 10. Give us some guys that maybe we won't hear from or know of in the next couple of years, but guys that maybe next year when you and I are sitting here that we're talking about that have kind of come out of nowhere for us.
Well, one guy's Adner Abreu. He's in the top 20. He's a guy, he was in the GCL last year, which is the Indians' rookie level. Mm-hmm. Extraordinary power. He's tall and lanky, just like Carmona was. He looks like Alfonso Soriano. He's got that same, I mean, I'm not saying ability, but, that's what it looks like when you're watching him. Just incredible power, raw power. He can play anywhere in the infield at this point. He's got a little bit, I guess the big red flag is the strikeouts with him, but, something maybe they can work on. Another guy, a couple of these guys from the draft they got. TJ House, he's a high school pitcher they got. He's a guy that he throws low 90s, left-handed. So he throws in the low 90s. He's got great makeup. And he's a guy that they're going to really work on. A guy like Zach Putnam, a guy from Michigan. The guy from Michigan last year. Actually, they drafted 3 Michigan players last year.
So. And Michigan guys usually don't get drafted in the draft. When you're in Ohio, Michigan, you're always told.
Well, they have a whole Michigan team because they drafted Bo Pickens, the catcher from Michigan, the year before. So they have 4 guys in the last 2 years. And it's funny, this whole little clique, and I kind of razz a little bit the Ohio State thing. I go, hey, I like going to Columbus now in a couple of years, but. Zach Putnam and our guy, and there was kind of a shift with their whole drafting thing now where they're getting all these power arm guys, and he throws 95, 96, and Cord Phelps, and our guy they got in the draft, he's a second baseman. He's a guy, he's kind of like Trevor Crow, but in the infield.
Okay.
Switch hitter, speed, power, I mean, not power, but he's got some power.
Quick bat, doubles
exactly.
gap to gap hitter. Who's a guy that slid the most for you over the last year?
Probably a guy like, John Drennan.
Yeah, outfielder.
Yeah.
Drafted about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Bigger kid.
Yeah, the guy hit the home run off Clemens.
Right.
And and Clemens when he was rehabbing in single A. But he just really, he went to Kinston last year and just fell off the map. Some of the guys, John Nunnally, the hitting coach, was working on this thing, just wasn't taken to him. And I think he's gotten to the point where, he's in Kinston for 3 years in a row. And these guys have an ego and that kind of thing,
and they start telling themselves, "If I don't get to this level by a certain age," and
I'm curious if he sticks after this spring training. So,
well, a lot of people ask me this, and maybe you can answer. What's the difference in low A and big A, in Kinston and Eastlake? What's the biggest difference that you can out of the type of players you see?
I mean, as far as obviously it's the pitching. The pitching is everything gets better. The pitching and the hitting. When they go from Lake County. South Atlantic League to High A in North Carolina League in Kinston, it's more of a pitching ballpark. So when these guys are putting up good numbers in Kinston, you got to really pay attention. Like a guy like Bo Mills last year had 20 home runs and hit 290 with 90-yard guys.
That's huge because of the pitching.
Yeah, and that's a fantastic ballpark. It's not really in the greatest of locations, but it's a fantastic field. It's like one of the best infields in all of minor leagues and that kind of thing. And the people there are great. But I think the biggest thing is these guys they're all getting better as they go up, and the strike zone gets smaller, and everybody just gets more polished.
Right. All right. Well, Tony, I've had so much fun having you in here. Tell people if they want this book, if they're interested as well, where they can read this and all the other things that you read about.
Probably the easiest way to go about it is just go to you can go to clevelandfan.com, or you can go to my blog, which is IndiansProspectInsider.com.
Tony, you do a great job. I appreciate you coming in to do this. We come back, you'll hear from Ashley Collins. She'll give you an update, tell you what's going on down in Goodyear. One of the names that Tony brought up, Wes Hodges, having a good day in Goodyear, Arizona today as he's already driven in a run. Ashley will give you an update on that. We'll go back to taking your phone calls as you're watching the Friday edition of All Bets Are Off here on Sports Time Ohio.